I hope we don't have any connection problems tonight. It kind of seems that joining. You all miss me. Say you miss me. Well, I think with you on that. I know that some people still watching the Vice President with Governor Coach Walls and JD dog eating the dogs and eating the cats. Vance. And I know you're all probably still engrossed in that. But please share the live and invite some people to come over to share the live because we have a lot to unpack and we want to see if we can unpack as much of it as we possibly can today. Give give the live a like, a big thumbs up, and share it with your friends and families and those who you think might have an interest in want to watch it. And then so go on and share it and come back about that. Huh? You want to go do that and come back and let us get busy and talk about some stuff that we need to talk about. It has been very, very busy last 2 weeks or so in Jamaica, and that is as a result of a number of things. So let us start the correct way as we should start, because we're going to see if we can unpack some things. I should tell you all that I had not intended to do any live. I had pulled apart this whole place, pull apart. Had to go put up curtain just a little live because I pulled the place apart. I'm tired, I'm cleaning up, I'm doing all kinds of things. And in my Christmas mode already. You know, we don't have no money, now go on, but that don't stop me from preparing for my favorite time of the year. So I want to start tonight with by expressing my own personal condolences to the leader of the opposition, Mark Golding, on the loss of his mother. And I want to do that. I want to, tell him how sorry I am that he lost his mother. And I want to do that because no matter what kind of demons some women give birth to, and I'm not targeting him in particular in this particular sense. Mothers are mothers, and you miss them because the fact that she might have been sick for a long time, which she was, Lady Patricia Levy Golding. She was sick for a long time, but the thing about your mother is that even if she's sick, you know she's there, and you know you can, even if she don't understand what you're saying or not even hearing you, not even responding to you, but you know she's there, and you can go and you can hug her and you can say something because she was an old woman. I wonder if there are days when Mark will look for his mother and lie down beside her or sit down with her and say mom, because it's British, call him mother mom. You saw what him post? M-U-M, mom. It's a British thing. And I imagine that him go to his mother and him say, mom, if you ever hear what the one Karen Cross, she has said, why if you ever hear what she and the resistance has said to me? And Lady Patricia might not have understood what he's saying, or even know who, I definitely don't know who Karen Cecelia is. But for him, because it's his mother, it is some kind of it is comforting because she's there, and it's comforting when you have your mother. Believe you me, it is, even for somebody like Mark Golding. So I want to place on record my condolences to him for the loss of his mother, Lady Patricia Levy Golding, because when you lose your mother, it don't feel good. Believe me, it don't feel good at all when you lose your mother, because she's there, and knowing that she's there is enough. So when she's gone, boy, it is something else. So I want to place that on record, that I know she was ill for a long while, and I'm truly sorry about that. That him have the body to go complain to that Karen Cecelia. I beat him up and saying all kind of things about him, and him want him mother to talk to. It's a good thing. Over the weekend, on Saturday last, I attended one of the most wonderful funeral services that I have ever been to, and that is of my comrade sister, Andrea Moore. It was an extremely good funeral service. Now, I rarely go to a funeral. I go to a funeral that means something to me. In my community, I go to funerals of all the senior citizens that were there when my mother first started, and all of them was there backing her up, and so all of them that died, I have to go and I have to do the talking on behalf of the community about those senior citizens, because they all nurtured me and made me who I am today. They all contributed to that. So I really don't like go to funerals, but I loved this funeral I went to on Saturday for Andrea Moore. The fact that you arrive early, you sit down in your seat, and there are people singing to you, just singing, and the music and the ambience and the joyful feeling of truly celebrating the life of an amazing, wonderful woman, Andrea Moore. And many people don't know that Andrea Moore and I we have a connection. She when she started out in when she first went to West Rural, I said to her, you don't need no help, man. Just go up there and charm the people. Then keep smiling and charm them, and go up there. Well, she wasn't successful, but in her entire Portland quest, I was the person with my little team that was out there on her behalf for her, and it was a wonderful funeral in so many ways. But like many things, it went awry at some point. And suffice to say, it started to go a bit of disturbance. And I said it went awry, but there were moments of disturbances. And I hate to tell you all this, but it all started with Mark Golding. And I see the picture stuck, so I don't know what that means. Look like something I go on with the tablet, and I look stupid with this picture stuck. Can somebody please tell me if you're hearing me or seeing me? I don't know. This thing just not going on well. So you need to help me out with that. I don't know what is happening here. So somebody please help me. Tell me what go on, because it seems stuck. My Lord, it looked like the thing for the comments is not on either. So I can't hear a soul. I can't see anything. Can somebody please text me and tell me if you're hearing me, because the picture stuck. And we have had this kind of problem before. So if you can hear me, please tell me. I'm looking for a text message to tell me if you can hear me, because I just start and there's nobody here telling me if them can hear me, and I hate to have to go start again. So tell me please, something going on with this thing. So somebody please, I need somebody to text me to tell me if you're hearing me, or that's somebody texting me. All right, we're going to have to just probably start this again, because I'm not getting anybody to tell me if they can hear me. So we're going to just come out of this and see if we can start again. Oh, you can hear me. All right then, fine. But I'm not getting any there's nothing about. All right, so this stupid thing that makes me look like a robot. All right then. So I will just continue to talk. Is that all right with everybody? And just in case it comes back, we're all right. That is all. So as I was saying, um, the wonderful funeral of Andrea Moore was going on fine, and suffice to say that the person who first sent the funeral in a little bit of a tizzy was none other than Mark Jefferson Golden. It is the strangest thing, and thank God nobody can't accuse me of making up anything. I have never made up any story about Mark Golden. I've always said what the story is and whatever it is that I need to say that he has done and what he did. But this, everybody's there for witness. Peter Phillips came. Nobody saw or hear him, just quietly. And I went over to greet him. Lorenzo and I went over and we greeted him. We chatted for a bit and I took my seat again. Mark Golden arrived at the funeral in the middle of the choir singing. The wonderful University Chapel choir singing lovely coordinated voices. I mean, they are good. When I tell you University choir, well, I don't know, some don't know. Them good. And there was Mark Golden in the middle of the choir singing. The man walked in to the funeral. The choir paused the choir paused and their voices went down and them looking at him. And then, to add insult to injury, the lingering PNP people them who ought to have known better started to clap in the middle of the choir performing a rendition. I believe it was the first rendition because the service had already started when he came. And I was flabbergasted by it. This man, I mean, it is time for me not to be surprised about him anymore. But I am, because I cannot imagine for the life of me that he arrived at the funeral, the choir is singing, and there's nobody in his entourage to tell him, sit in the car until the choir finished singing. Nobody. There's nobody to tell him, sit here. And I find it so utterly distasteful that this man is leader of the opposition of the People's National Party, president, walk into the funeral of a comrade in the middle of the choir singing, and then the lingering PNP people them start clap while the choir singing. Mr. The choir them look upon him with some dirty look for about 10 to 15 minutes. Them must stop giving the eye. I mean, them must start giving the eye. Them can't believe it themselves. They are stumped. They are stumped. I can recall a situation where PJ come to funeral and something was going on in the middle of it, and before they could get to somebody to announce his arrival, they make PJ Alson, they make PJ sit in the car until the moment was appropriate. I remember a funeral that Dr. Phillips came in and sat at the back seat until whatever was going on was finished. Portia come into funeral and things are going out there, and she stand up outside that whole conversation with people until it was time for her to go in. But this man, and somebody told me today, I was at the hairdresser, somebody said to me, him don't know better. Him don't know better, and him surround himself with people who don't know better. So him come in, and them come in behind him, and the boy, I can't, every time I have to discuss this thing, it don't feel good to me, but I have to say it. The same young lady with the blonde hair, this time the hair not short, she full of hair that still look dirty and moldy and want wash and want comb. In this pink frock, tight, it look like they about to sew it on her. With the whole of her legs and everybody out of doing the high heels. So every move she moved, it rile up. And then to add insult to injury, the frock bad color, look like she take it out of the dirty clothes. It was an amazing thing to observe, and she walk up and in this bad colored half dirty frock with her moly ear and paper and pen in front of her and book and stamp in the middle of the church. I mean, what is this? The leader of the opposition, the president of the People's National Party. Would you ever see anybody for Peter Phillips or Portia or PG? All Portia had to do or PG had to do, them have them signals when them look around, and them people they always put all over the place for the sidelines to come to them if they want them, because them have them signals. This young lady walk among the people in church in this bad color frock with her ear up in her one dirty and look nasty. And paper and book in her and I walk up and I start at the aisle and I pose at the aisle. People were actually asking, the woman in front of me was asking, is the ushers them have a uniform? Can I thought she was an usher? I said, don't do that. I said, stop it, don't do it. The usher them look fantabulous. Great in them uniform. Don't do that. Not this one. This one is Mark Golding assistant. Come there, and when he must speak, in spite of the fact that the thing is being videotaped, and there is a cameraman and a videographer and everybody, she had to go there, stand up in the short, dirty, bad color frock. A video him attack. I don't know. How many times have I spoken about this? Because this just really, really, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I really don't know, because, I mean, this young lady just continues. She continues to amaze me. She continues to amaze me. Oh, on God's green earth can they simply make a young lady like that in charge of who the leader of the opposition is, and can't backside look after herself? Can't backside put on proper clothes, comb her hair, do something that actually, would make her look proper and presentable. Why is that? Why is that? So that was where the funeral started going wrong, with him walking in the middle of the choir singing, and then the PNP people them start clap. And I'm disappointed in the PNP people because they have been to so many funerals. They ought to know better. And then you know what he did? He never even just quietly go sit down. He stopped to acknowledge the clap. He stopped to acknowledge the clap, the applause from the lingering PNP people them in the middle of the woman's funeral, in the middle of our wonderful university choir singing. And that was his first move. Don't worry, I have more moves. He have more moves, man. Enough more moves he make. So that was his first move. And him go sit down there. And for the entire time that he sat there, when Peter Phillips was there, him a whole conversation with Peter Phillips. And Peter Phillips genuinely holding conversation with him, but for him conversation was not a genuine conversation. And that was his first move. Then his second move was when he went to give the tribute. And it is his tribute that then opened the door to all of this kerfuffle that we are now experiencing from the funeral. He was the one who started it all by talking about how Andrea wanted to be deputy chairman of the party, and him tell her, no, people listen, we might think say we are idiot down here. No, people listen to us might think we don't have sense down here. How Andrea could not be deputy chairman. She wanted to be deputy chairman, and him tell her not at this time. And him have the gall to come to the woman's funeral to come repeat that. And by saying that, him opened the door for anything else that should follow. That was him. So that was Markie G. Took over the funeral completely with him buffoonery and him idiocy and him lack of decorum and behavior. Him and the little frowsy head girl them have a walk up and down with him, take over the woman's funeral and turn it into a damn blasted foolishness. almost, but it was a wonderful funeral. And then, after him opened the door, Tony Phillips, Andrea's wonderful husband, in his tribute, because part of the program, and some of you will watch it on WhatsApp, was that, the family get to go up and them say them thing, and everybody do them thing, and I thought that was such a absolutely wonderful moment with the families doing them thing, and it was nice. It was great to watch that, to witness how close they are, and to hear what they have to say about Andrea. And when it was Tony's time, he went up there with his sister, or sisters, and his 2 children, because Tony and Andrea didn't have any children together, but Tony had 2 before they met, grown children, and he was there, expressing himself about how he feels about his wife. And then he ventured into talking about her contribution politically and all that she did in Portland. And in so doing, he got emotional. And he said a whole lot of things. He got emotional and got some things off his chest. And I know that those things, because he and I, we spoke about it afterwards when we were looking something to eat. And he got some things off his chest, because Andrea would have never allowed him to get them things off his chest. And she don't want nobody to say them things there. She wouldn't want nobody quarrel about those things and all the rest of it, because that's who she was, So he finally get those things off his chest. And he went on and on and on. And if you hear a shout in the video, when somebody say, yeah, a big clap, that was me. I was cheering him on. I was definitely cheering him on for him to speak. And then some people took that and then turned it into a little video, and it been going viral on social media. And then it gone out of hand, and all kind of things happening, and look at us now. Then somebody sent me something written by this half idiot, who every time him open his mouth or write something, you know that him singing for him little supper, because him don't have nothing else. Him can't do nothing else. Somebody not implying for do nothing else. Somebody not him can't do nothing. I'm never call up him name. I never normally call him name, because I like call him name and give them no prominence. But I'm talking about the one named Socrates. Come and post up or write something that somebody screenshot and send to me, because I don't follow them people there. I don't watch them people there. I don't listen to them people there. All them have is an accent. But them have no sense. And him like to behave like him is some kind of intellectual, and then him come on and do all kind of things. So he went out with this thing, and he wrote this thing about what Tony Phillips did. And it wasn't just him. There was some social media people talking about the man and his funeral and his wife funeral and all kind of things, what he should and should not have done and what he should and should not have said. Let me just tell you all now, no matter come off on the IAS. The man there in the throes of his grief, grieving for his wife, talking about whatever comes natural to him to talk about. Let him damn grieve. Let him grieve in whatever way, shape or form that he sees fit. Let him grieve. Suppose Mark go to his mother's funeral and start bawl and say, I true you not stressed because Karen Cross did call up my name. I wouldn't go there go war with Mark about that. Him can grieve any which way he want. It's death. The man grieving his wife. We don't hold on upon social media and in groups so can talk the man this and the man that. We don't come off on the IAS and come off of Tony Phillips. The man can grieve in whatever way, shape, or form that he chooses, whatever, because grief is not something you plan. You don't plan how you're going to grieve. You don't plan what you're going to say when you're going grieving. You don't plan how you're going to act. That's not how grieving work. Grieving work by it's just a natural thing that flows from you. I don't want to deny him the right to grieve in the only way that came to him. What is wrong with Uno? What is wrong with Uno? Some people grieve by being silent. Some people grieve by drinking themselves to a stupor. Some people grieve by locking up in them house or locking up in a somewhere. Some people grieve by just sit down and looking into space. Some people grieve by just going about them daily life and every now and then them just broke down. People grieve in different ways. Nobody gives them the right to be on social media and look a fool group them and come tell the man how to grieve for his wife. And this half idiot Socrates went out there and him write up all kind of things that him absolutely have no information on. So of course, those who are paying for him supper provided him with the information and him come write him usual foolishness. And thinking that somebody's impressed by him. Nobody's impressed by you. Nobody don't look by you. Nobody don't listen to nothing you say. You have absolutely no influence and zero. You have influence on zero people. You come out there, call up Peter Phillips' name, and call up Portia Simpson's name, and we know that is them give you the information. Why do we know that them give you the information? We know if them give you the information because you don't have them the information. You don't know nothing about anything. So tonight, I am going to tell Jamaica about what Tony Phillips was talking about. And I am somewhat disappointed that Tony Phillips went out there and then put out a statement to clarify something. And I know for a fact that he was coerced and he was bullied into doing that statement. He could not have done it on his own. And I know I'm close with them. But his closest with them is as a result of Andrea, because I don't think Tony interested in any kind of politics. I don't think Tony want a seat anywhere. So I know that he was bullied and coerced and forced to go out there, go do that statement. And the amazing thing about it is that you know that he was, but by whom? And why did they feel that they needed to have somebody go out there, go have Tony draw back what he said and go put out a stupid statement? Why did Mark Golding and Peter and Dayton Campbell and Angela Blomberg and them feel? Because it's them three then felt that they had to get that statement out to make the world know that is not Mark Golding, Tony talking. Why did they feel the need to do that? And by doing that, they once again have acted in the same way that we have expected them to act for all the time they have been head of the leaders of the PNP. They could not have embraced the responsibility of a woman's death and a man grieving for his wife and just let it slide. Oh no, them couldn't do that. Them couldn't let it slide. Them have to make the world know. Them have to go out there and throw the other two party leaders underneath the bus. They have to make it happen that that the world know that the other two party leaders did this or did that. And Mark Golding as a leader, as the current leader of the party, couldn't take it upon himself as the leader and say, I'm going to take one for the team. Oh no, him couldn't do that. Him couldn't say, I'm going to take one for the team. Peter Phillips wouldn't go out there and ask somebody to explain nothing. Neither would PJ, neither would Portia. But not him. Be clarified. Because he can't take one for the team that he's currently head of. And this is who want to elect to rule Jamaica. This is who want to be Prime Minister of Jamaica. I pray to God that the people of Jamaica understand clearly that them can't elect this man to be leader of this country. He's the leader of the party. Whatever transpired that Tony was talking about, him should now just hug up the responsibility for that and find a way to smooth things over. But him couldn't do that. No, him couldn't do that. Him have to go out there and make everybody know that it's PJ and it's Peter and it's not PJ and it's Portia, not PJ. Him have to go out there. So first him have to send out Socrates who collect him 5,000 because him no worth nothing more $5,000 or $10,000. All I have to do is give him money. Because him probably who are holding for debt, you know. Listen to me, youth. May I tell you this? Everything that you have ever done, don't bother me. Because I just look for you as a damn nincompoop who have no sense and singing for your supper. I mean, not a problem. People are hustling, you know. You know me not an issue with people who are hustling. Me have no issue with a man with us. But you see when you have to stoop so low and you have to kiss ass and suck shit off of some boot bottom in order to hustle, to eat, I remind you, Mr. Socrates, that Peter Phillips used to feed your ass. Don't forget that. That Peter Phillips used to feed your ass, you ungrateful looking bastard. And he was the first one to go out. On instructions, of course, from Dayton Campbell and Angela Brownberg, because it's them, you have to rely on them and take him thing from them. And the leaders, the past leaders under the bus, and to exonerate Mark. So tonight, I'm going to tell you everything how this thing went. And Mark is not exonerated for anything. So first thing I want you to do on social media is to leave Tony Phillips alone. Let him grieve in whatever way, shape, or form. And those who forced him and coerced him and bullied him into putting out that shame on you. Listen me to my mother. God is going to deal with someone in some way, you see, man. You, Angela Brownberg, and the pedophile, and a white British leader, forced the man to come put out statement. Why we could just love the man, make the man grieve in whatever way, shape, or form him feel like grieving. And Mark Golding couldn't just say, all right, not everything him say correct, but make it rest. Now take one for the team. Oh no, you can't take one for the team because you're not a team player. You're there for your own thing. You're Markie G and you're there for your own thing. So you're not a team player. So you couldn't do that, as all leaders should. All leaders should. I remember some time ago that somebody did something, I don't remember, and PJ, during the old Paulwell thing, when Paulwell was expressing a lot of youthful exuberance, PJ as a leader come out and him talk. Youthful, and that throw nobody under the bus. You, Mark Golding, as the current leader of the People's National Party, sat there and listened to what Tony Phillips said, and you instigated yourself, Dayton Campbell, the pedophile, Angela Brownberg, the witch, and instigate and coerce and bullied Tony Phillips to go put out statement to exonerate Uno, to exonerate yourselves. And people think you're a leader. People actually ever ask Jamaican people go vote for Uno. How do Jamaican people go vote for Uno? Uno are the leaders. Uno are self-absorbed parasites. That's what Uno is. And Tony was coerced and bullied. So let me help you out with something about this Andrea Moore thing. Since I had a front row seat to it, I was out in Portland helping Andrea, along with our campaign manager, who's our brother, Chris. And here's how things went down. Andrea Moore works, and her husband work, and do a lot of work, personal work in Portland, East. And during the time that you're out there, some PMP comrades were getting fed up with Comrade Bloomfield. And that was around late 2014 to early 2015. And they asked Angela, some PMP people, and I've made it clear all the time, if 10 PMP people come to you from a constituency and say to you, boy, the MP now got nothing, come in the place, man, could I use somebody like you if you're an upstanding member of the People's National Party, nobody can stop you from going there. Listen to me, repeat that. If in a constituency that some PMP people come to you and say to you, the MP now go out with nothing, come to the place, man, and you will like, man, come talk to some people. Nobody can stop you if you are an upstanding member of the People's National Party. So when the people go to Andrea, she listen to them, she walk with them, she talk with them, she and them exchange pleasantries, and I mean, Andrea's one of the most wonderful person I have ever met, barring none. Huh? Okay, Cecelia, calm down. That's what she used to say. Karen, done. So when Andrea was out and about in Portland, she decided after mustering a whole heap of support that she's going to challenge Comrade Bloomfield for the position of Member of Parliament candidate. And she did. She challenged him. She mustered up some support and they went to a runoff. A selection process was arranged. And Maureen Webber presided over that selection process out in Port Antonio, just a little outside of Port Antonio. And the selection process ended with Andrea Moore winning the selection process by 8 or 9. Don't remember exactly. I think it was a single digit number. So she won the selection process against Dr. Bloomfield in 2015 by about 8 or 9 votes. After she won the selection process and all the votes were counted and everybody was satisfied that everything went right, Maureen Weber got on the phone and she informed the party chairman, Bobby Pickersgill, of what the results are. Then she came up and him got the results. And him said, oh, that's it? Yeah? All right. Because that's what he said. I was there. And then she informed the party national, the campaign director for the elections at the time, Comrade Peter Phillips. She informed Bobby Pickersgill first, the chairman of the party. Then she informed the campaign director, Peter Phillips, who in turn, both of them, I imagine, then in turn informed the party leader, Portia Simpson Miller, as to what the results are. The decision was quick. There was no ifing and butting. There was no in and ahhing. They all decided, 3 of them, that since it's just 9 votes she won by, then Dr. Bloomfield will remain the candidate. It was a decision taken by the party. It wasn't a single decision that Peter Phillips took on his own, or Bobby Pickersgill took on his own. And if the truth to be told, and if Maureen Weber is to tell the truth, Bobby Pickersgill was the first one who said, well, that means Bloomfield is still the candidate. That was basically Bobby Pickersgill's word. That means Bloomfield is still the candidate after she reported it to him. But it was a decision. Dr. Phillips and Bobby tell me that it was a decision by the 3 of them. The party took the decision, and the party leader agreed. Now, for many of you who understand something like that is acceptable because it's hard for the PNP. The PNP still have not yet moved in the 21st century where a win is a win is a win. Somebody challenge you and them win by 1, them win. But the PNP have always felt that if you challenge a sitting member of parliament, you better win by a huge amount. Because if you only win by a single digit, they're going to assume that you don't have that overwhelming support that you really actually thought you have or you should have. They would need an overwhelming amount of support in order to remove a sitting member of parliament for a new candidate. I agreed with that decision. I agreed with it. I was supporting Andrea. But I agreed with it because I queried it. And I'm trying to find out why they would do something like that. I agree with it. Paul Burke was against it. All was against it. The whole were against that. Them shouldn't do it and a win is a win and all of that. But eventually, we all come to the same conclusion. And when I was ranting and raving and going on, Paul Burke said, Karen, let it stay because of party decision and it's not a huge month and Ray and Tay, and we all agreed. Andrea, in her fine, upstanding, classy way, said okay. And she pledged to Dr. Bloomfield that she's going to work with him and win the election in 2016. She worked her ass off. And you see all those things that Tony listed that she did, that don't even begin to scratch the surface of what Andrea Moore did for Portland. And it's not just Portland East. It extended to 1 and 2 people in Portland West. And she worked very hard to help Dr. Bloomfield win. Dr. Bloomfield told Andrea that he's not going to run back in 2020. That's what he told her. And he's going to support her because she's staying with him and she's working with him and him and her work together. I'm going to support her for the 2020, for the next election. Never knew it was going to be 2020, but he said the next election. And Andrea stepped up her efforts in working in the constituency because she's moving toward that goal. Unfortunately, Dr. Bloomfield died unexpectedly. And when he died, we all assumed, all of us that supporting her, me, Burke, them, the rest, all of we agreed that Andrea just need to step up our activity in the constituency, go around and talk to people and boost up the place. And she was very involved in Dr. Bloomfield funeral. I remember at the grave digging, we had a wonderful time. She was videotaping with dancing. Some friends of mine came down from the state, from New York and from Canada, and we would go to the grave digging, and that was a massive party-like atmosphere. We never left it till about 6 o'clock at night. I don't know what kind of grave digging that was, but it was a party. And she was there doing everything. And we all assumed, we are all working towards a goal, that she's going to be the candidate for the by-elections. And this part now falls squarely on the shoulder of Peter Phillips. Squarely on his shoulder. He was the party leader. And as Andrea going to be the candidate, I'm asking Andrea to step aside. Every minute there's a meeting, asking Andrea to step aside, asking Andrea to make Damien go forward, because Peter Phillips and everybody else in there selling us on the idea that Damien Crawford is a great black hope, and that could not win a thing, but he's a great black hope. We were pissed. I was pissed. Everybody was pissed. And them sat down, meeting after meeting. Every damn minute you hear Andrea or Chris say, she'll meet with Dr. Phillips, she'll meet with Dr. Phillips, and Dr. Phillips and me. And one day I took up the phone and I called Peter Phillips. And I said to him, say, well, you can't do this to Andrea Moore, It's not right. You can't do this to Andrea Moore. And he said, I'm trying to come to some understanding, and it will be a win-win situation. That's the first time I got wind of the fact that if Damien Crawford go forward, I'm going to leave the Senate, and that Andrea Moore is going to get the Senate seat. Nobody wanted Damien Crawford to go down to Portland, go win a seat. And I mean nobody. Not the risers them, and certainly not some authentic PMP. Not a soul ever wanted him down there, and not a soul wanted him to win. And some people might feel funny about that, but that's God's living truth. Nobody wanted him to win. He and I have conversations throughout the whole thing, and every time I said to him, say, listen to me. If you even win, I say, Damien, I don't think you can win this thing, but even if you win, it's going to be by no more than 300 votes. And him cuss me off, of course, I said, watch, mark my words, write it down. I'm going to win by 2,000 votes. Of course, me not write down nothing, I not mark him words. Because I know him is a damn nutcase. And that way I win nothing. Or if you win it, that way by no 2,000 votes. And so, Dr. Phillips met with Andrea and promised her that he's going to give her the Senate seat. And if she would step aside and allow Damien to go forward. You know, when you get that sinking feeling in your stomach, I must say that in one discussion, Paul Burke was the one who said to me, Karen, don't get your hopes up. I don't know if they're going to do that. But don't get your hopes up about it. And I started to feel pissed off again on about that same time. All of us that supported Andrea Moore, including the Burkes. And Damien went out there and make an ass himself, messing with Mrs. Vaz and going on with all kind of unusual antics. And as usual, the gods visited him and showed him that him is not nobody great black hope. And if him go win Northwest St. Catherine, I guarantee you if him win it Monday, I'm going to fuck it up Tuesday. Because that is how his political history is. He lost his Portland. Peter Phillips did not keep his word. Did not keep his word about it. But let me remind everybody that at the time that Peter Phillips made that promise to Andrea Moore, Brown Burke was a member of Parliament. Every single one of them were members of Parliament. And by being members of parliament, there's a connection, kind of a connective responsibility. Bunting, Dayton, Mark, Andrea, Ian, who were members of parliament during that same process. Did any of them do anything to advance the argument that a promise made is a promise that should be kept? Did any of them actually step in on behalf of Andrea Moore? The only person that I know that was holding constant conversation about keeping that promise was Paul Christopher Burke. Nobody else was holding no conversation with Peter Phillips about keeping that promise. And they all knew that that promise was made. But as usual, them take for themselves from those things because it doesn't concern their power. So when Tony Phillips are gone at the funeral, yes, it extends to them. Them the dead that one of them never speak for Andrea. None of them spoke for Andrea. They were all glad that Damien lose. But nobody spoke for Andrea. Nobody spoke up for Andrea. And then Damien get back the Senate seat. And I can't tell you how hurtful it was. But Andrea is a woman of class. She was a woman of class. And the kind of vibes that she give out as a human being is just simply unequaled to any other person that I have ever met. She said, okay, never mind. It was all right with she, but it wasn't all right with us. All who was working our ass off. How much time I come from Portland in the middle of the night in a rain, in a mud, and rain a tear and place flood out there for just find a bar for each up. Or a place to sit down and talk to some comrades and eat piece of pork and just jam. Hours a night after go meet with 10 or 15 or 20 people. Sometimes you go for go meet with 15 and 20 and it's 10 show up, 5 show up. You know how much trip we make out there? You know how much trip, you know what it cost to go out there? So we were vexed. We were pissed. But I asked this question. Did Mark Golding speak up for Andrea? No. Did Angela Brownberg? Let me not say that Angela Brownberg did not, you know, because I know Paul Burke was speaking up for Andrea. So I don't know, the two of them joined at the hip, so maybe she was. Did Dayton Campbell speak up for Andrea? Dayton Campbell never even know Andrea don't care about Andrea. At the time, them a plan, them move. Them busy a plan for challenge Peter Phillips at the time. So those things never concern them. So they're not totally immune from what Tony Phillips was saying. But then, at the end of his grieving in the church, Tony Phillips said something else. Tony Phillips said something else that is more profound than anything else that he said. He said, I'm done with you all. I'm done with you all. And that means the whole damn lot of uno. Because Peter Phillips not pushes him to Miller are not leaders of the party anymore. So that means uno. And who opened that door for Tony Phillips to say, I'm done with you all? Mark Jefferson Golding. By admitting to the funeral, I don't know if he thought that it was some kind of something to boast about and people going to praise him for it. I don't know who advised him about these things. You know, Andrea, and you know, when the position of deputy chairman of the party will open up, and Comrade Andrea have expressed an interest, you know, and I just told her, you know, we have to think about something else, and we're going to, you know, have to do this, and we'll think of something else, and all kind of asked it and comfort. But then, after Peter Phillips failed to give her the seat, and a Senate seat open now is, Peter did promise Andrea the seat. I am going to forego my body and give it to Andrea as a mark of respect and to show people that we like to keep our word and make a big deal about it. Oh no! Him give him friend. Him give the Senate seat to him friend. And I'm sure you know that Peter Phillips had promised a Senate seat to Andrea and reneged on the promise by giving it to the loser Damian Crawford, the loser. And then when Tony Phillips, a go on, a uni attack too. Of course I uno. But you did the most despicable thing. You did what everybody expected you to do. You send out to the people them to put out the idiot one. We can't lose this accent from them throw him out yet. To come talk about is Peter Phillips and his Portia Simpson Miller. You, Mark Golden, the leader of the PNP, could not take one for the team without throwing the two former leaders under the bus. You couldn't take one for the team. And you send your people out to go tell the man how to grieve for his wife. How on God's earth can you tell a person how to grieve? I better him do this. And all for out there talk to his wife and disgrace him. The man grieve his wife. And grief comes in different shape and form. And nobody should interfere with the grieving process of anyone. It's hard. It's hot. It's difficult. It's 2 years now my sister died. I don't know when I say I walk by now in the yard. The grieving not over yet. I have a picture in the living room of a man that pass it most days. I walk my sister, good morning, my sister. It's not over yet. You can't tell people how to grieve. And then force the man to put out statement. Jesus, man. Jesus. But we have come not to expect much from Mark Golden. Because every day that he presents himself to the public, he displays to us in no uncertain term what he is, who he is, and how he is. And that's the long and short of it. He don't care about a damn thing or anyone except himself. And that's the long and short of it all. Except himself. That's what he cares about. And I can't even begin to tell you how disappointing it is. Every time I do something, I'm disappointed. I don't know why I keep getting disappointed by it. I'm supposed to get up now and just expect them to do. I suppose I am just looking for the better angels in people all the time. So even when them do some crap, you're hoping that the next time they won't do that crap. You know? And they couldn't just laugh it off, brush it off, and take one for the team and say something. You know, Comrade Tony was grieving and we empathize with him. You know, something. Anything to support Tony and to say, let the man grieve. He couldn't bring himself to do that. He sent out him hatchet people them. Him $5,000 and him $10,000 people. Damn nice, man. And him come do. And that's what he did. Send them out. To come berate Tony. To come berate him. And make him look stupid. And that is just that. With that. So, when Tony said, I'm done with you all, I don't allow him attack. Don't allow him attack. All of you. Now we want to venture into... Did anybody link up Justice Panton for me? Link him up and tell him grab a beer and come let me and him hold a chat. I'm sorry this video thing not working. I really wanted to enjoy myself with this one. But let's talk a little bit now about the IC report. Because this is what I know everybody particularly want to talk about. The IC misreport. It's not a report, it's a misreport from the IC. In 2018 or mid-2019, there were several stories in the United States about Hunter Biden, the son of President Joe Biden. Stories about his laptop that became a fodder and became a joke and late late night host. There were stories about Hunter Biden that he was a director on the board of Burisma, which was a oil company in Ukraine. There were stories about him being friends with a Chinese guy, who has never been to China, born in America from Chinese parents, never been to China. But there was a lot of stories about Hunter Biden. Now, why am I telling you about these stories about Hunter Biden? Because sometimes it's just one thing somebody has to say about something before it take off and take flight and become a narrative for everything else that leads you down a rabbit hole. And I'm telling you about the Hunter Biden thing because it is the one argument that they started about Hunter Biden and him laptop and him work at Burisma and him taking money from the Chinese and Joe Biden is corrupt and all kind of that. And once the Republicans started that, the whole Hunter Biden thing went down a deep, dark rabbit hole and it took flight. It led to Hunter Biden being charged by the feds for falsely, for lying on his form when he went to purchase a gun in 2018. He went to purchase a gun, and there's a form that you fill out when you go to purchase a gun. On the form they ask you if you take drugs, if you abuse, if you're a substance abuser, and all of that. Hunter Biden, who is a drug addict, fighting all of those demons for about 20 years now, he lied on the form and he said that, he was not a drug addict. And then the next day after he bought the gun, he threw it in one garbage bin, and his girlfriend and his ex-wife and all them kind of people, everybody just rat on him because they're out to get Joe Biden. The entire thing was just cooked up to get Joe Biden. Now the other day, Hunter Biden was charged, brought to court, found guilty for a crime that if his name was Hunter Brown, you'd hear about it. It's a crime that if his name was Hunter Brown, you wouldn't hear about it. Because in the US, such crimes like purchasing a gun and lying on the form is usually end up with a plea deal where you're going to the prosecution, you're going to courthouse and the prosecution say, Your Honor, we are not going to press any charges, we accept community service, pay a fine, whatever. There's no record of anyone having gone to court and go through the embarrassment that Hunter Biden went through for this gun purchase and the lying on his form about his drug use. But they did it because he's Joe Biden's son. And they did it because Trump went to ball out, say, Hunter Biden get away with all kind of things and who want to persecute me. So they did it. The prosecutors had no choice. They have to charge him. They have to carry him to court. And the evidence is overwhelming that him buy the gun and him lie about it and him dash the gun the next day and he's a drug addict. Them don't sentence him yet. All of that about Hunter Biden started because of the quest for power by one man, Donald J. Trump. Rachel Maddow did have a documentary on the whole thing, how it all started and how it fettered out. When you should go watch it, I encourage you to go look at it, which is just a sequence of events, what happened. And all of it, Hunter Biden laptop, Hunter Biden with Chinese, Hunter Biden and Joe Biden is corrupt, the whole thing why Ukraine never get them the weapons money that Trump should have given them because he wanted Zelensky to investigate Hunter Biden and announce, say my investigate. Well, Trump had told Zelensky them that you don't have to investigate him, just announce it to the world that you're investigating him. Just announce it. Say you're investigating Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, and my people will take care of the rest. All of it ended up with Hunter Biden being charged, and him still going to court for tax issues, because, him have some tax issues as well. But in this case, that he was tried and found guilty of, no other person in the entire United States would have faced a courtroom and a jury on this charge. But it's Hunter Biden name. And it was done because one man quest for power and control and corruption. And so an entire group of people joined to bring down Hunter Biden in an attempt to bring down Joe Biden. One man quest for power. And that brings me to the IC. That brings me, and that's what I want to start with in dealing with this IC thing. The IC report, or non-report, is one of those things that will go down in the history of this country as one of the greatest misuse of power. I want to shout out Justice Panton for me. One of the greatest misuse of power ever in the history of this country. The Integrity Commission. And what they have done, and how one man quest for power have corrupted an entire process that is supposed to be incorruptible. A process for some man who's supposed to be incorruptible to deal with corruption, and one man quest for power corrupt that entire process. The IC, they must have some kind of confidentiality clause or some kind of understanding regarding the way they conduct their investigations of all public servants. With clarity, with purpose, with fairness, and a sense of duty and responsibility to our country and our constitution. That is what we expect of IC. Just like what our national pledge says, I pledge my heart this island as God and faith shall live, my work, my love, my strength, and my loyalty to give. This, the Integrity Commission, theirs is a job to rise above us all in integrity and honor and fairness. It is a simple job. It is not a hard job. I'm going to link up Justice Panton for me. It's a job that requires them to rise above us all in integrity and honor and fairness, with clarity and with purpose, and a sense of duty and responsibility to our country and our constitution. And they have another job as well. And that job is to create a sense of fairness and non-partisanship in their job. They have a job not only to report to the parliament, but they also have a job that when they report to the parliament, that report extend to us, to reassure us, to put us at ease that we are good. We have enough. Want to ask us to do this, and we are going to do it with dignity, with fairness, with purpose, with clarity, with respect to our constitution. We are going to do this. So their job is not only to produce a report and give it to Parliament. Their job is also to reassure the public that we are decent, good people, and nobody is going to step on our toes. We are going to do this in fairness. But one man's quest for power, one man quest for power, upended the entire thing. So Justice Panton came into the Gleaner and he spoke about some stuff. And I don't know if Justice Panton understand exactly what is going on out here. Because Justice Panton, where are you, Justice Panton? Come here, man, I want to talk to you. Come out and start talk about threats and fear and intimidation and cowering. Listen up, Justice. Listen up. I want you to listen to me, Justice Panton. Nobody now hurt nobody in the IC. Nobody no want to beat up nobody and bust nobody head. Nobody don't want to shoot nobody. Nobody don't want to kill nobody. So cut it out. And you know damn well that nobody wants to do any of that. But one of the problem with people like Justice Panton is that you people believe for all your lives that you have been doing this all your lives and nobody has ever held you to account. You have been able to do what you're doing and get away with it. You have been able to do that and nobody don't question you and ask you what going with this and how did you come to that. So that is why you feel so cagey, because people are now questioning you and asking you stuff and demanding answer from you about stuff, and you don't like that. But hear me now, Justice Panton. Hear me now. We hired you all to keep corruption low. We never hire you to get rid of it. So that never happen. And we're not naive. But we hired you to keep it low and to bring back some kind of respectability to public service about that. And when we hired you, we figured that you guys are going to do it. So lo and behold, you give out your report. And that Ningrin in there, that name, Greg Christie. And I'm calling my Ningrin because I don't like him. But I'm not going to show any disrespect at the IC members. Certainly not going to show any disrespect to Justice Panton. Sir, no disrespect to you. Him reporting the Gleaner that him had to beef up security when a well-known social media personality put out that them coming to protest at the IC office. What's the matter with you, Mr. Christie? People coming out to protest, waiting. People are bring gun and stone and board. You see the excitement when I create from Jamaican people because people have the gall to question you, to ask you to answer some things that we don't understand because you have made a mess of things. And then you talk about you get security because you think some people are come beating you up or come stone the office or come burn down the office. Nobody that will do that. You know full well that people are going to come there with placard and about sing and about talk about things. Then Justice Panton, you are talk about people are talk about, you say, posts and when member of parliament put up and people are plan this and plan that. I want to put your mind at ease, Justice Panton. Not a soul don't want to do you nothing. And the members of parliament who were speaking out against you, if they did because I don't see it, have a right to speak too. What is wrong with you? Just since yesterday or day before yesterday, I saw this thing where some people put out this meme with Trump and P. Diddy in a cell in them orange jumpsuit. And P. Diddy, I said to Trump, it's bedtime now, Donald. Do you know what people post about them leaders all over the world? During the thing in France the other day when all the French people was up in arms against Macron, them have an effigy of Macron with a belt around his neck and hang him for one post. What's the matter with you now? Like you don't want to shut down people's freedom of speech. Like you don't want to shut down people's right to express themselves about how not conduct no business. Because you all have become so accustomed to not being questioned and not being held to account about what you do, that people start questioning you, you start make all kind of alarm about people who want to kill you or people want to burn on your office. You and Greg Christie? Unfair. Very unfair, lack credibility. Not you, Justice Panton. I'm taking you out of the lot. Because I know your public service. I know the work that you have done as a public service. And I continue to respect you, even with the 1980 shirt then, as a public servant. But Justice Panton, in all of this furore, did you ever, as the chief, as the head of the IC, did you ever one time send a letter, a note, take up the phone and make a phone call to Mark Golding and said, listen, I hear you out there talking about illicit sex and illicit this and illicit that. The first thing I want to know, who tell you that? Did you ever ask him that? Because that's part of your job. You're working in a confidential way in your investigations. Nobody's supposed to out a road and talk about your investigation when you're investigating. Did you once, Justice Panton, sir? Did you once write a note to Mark Golding, to the pedophile Dayton Campbell, to the witch Angela Brownbrook? Did you ever take up the phone, send a note to them and say, listen to me people, you are making our job hard. by out there spouting all of that. Because it's them start the corruption of your process, and you seem to in there corroborating with them. Not you per se, Justice Panton. Not you per se. Others are taking you out of it. Them in there, in there, sit down. Mark going out there, shout out about illicit 6, and not once. Not once did you take up the phone. Not once did you send him a note to say, listen to me, you. Let us do our job. What you are doing is clouding the integrity of the Integrity Commission. What you are doing is raising doubts about our ability to conduct all that we do behind the scenes and then present a report to the country. Stop it. Did you ever do that, Justice Panton, sir? Ever? Did you? Did you ever ask your commissioners, listen to me, which one in your informer? Which one in here I meet with Mark Golding and Dayton Camp that I give them information? Did you ever do that, Justice Panton, sir? You know, Gleaner, I talk up things, but no one do nothing. No, people that like Baxter, Mr. Stevenson, but nobody not trouble you. Nobody not trouble no member of the IC. People expressing them freedom to speak and to say anything about a public servant to work for we. We can call them anything we want. We can cuss you as we see fit. Some people will go beyond cussing you and cuss you with disrespect, not me. But we can speak as we see, as we feel a mind. We only live. This is a free world. We don't not follow things in the world. We don't really not follow things. Huh? Do you hear the kind of things that the American politicians and their mouth have said? Do you hear the kind of things that the French people were saying about Macron? Do you hear the kind of things that they say about the new British Prime Minister? Did you hear some of the things they talk about Richie Sunak? What is wrong with you? One want to hold us to some kind of standard that you can't even hold yourself to? Justice Panton, please, help me with that. How that go? Did you send a note to Mark? Did you tell him that he's corrupting the system by out there shouting about illicit 6? The Prime Minister of the country, Mr. Oldis, have gained this popular argument that's been haunting him from the beginning of his leadership of the country. It started with his house. And people start saying, Andrew Wall is thief. It's a popular thing. Oh, Andrew Wall is a thief, that man. And the man, the thief. I don't know what. Maybe I wasn't paying attention then, but I don't know what are some of the things that led people to start calling him thief. But then again, most people call all politicians thief. The whole of the thief. You talk to who the man a thief, man, all the man is thief the country. When the rest of them they say them now vote, you say the word man, they're pagan thief. And Andrew Wallace never took the opportunity at any time to put that to rest. And that opportunity may have passed for him or may not. I don't know. But he has failed to address the matter to the people of this country in a fulsome way. And so, based on one man's quest for power, that landed Hunter Biden in a trial that should not have taken place, based on one man's quest for power, the Prime Minister is now popularly known as a thief, and now popularly being characterized as a man who have a whole heap of money, which is not true. That him thief, which is not true. And that tip took off like paper in the wind because of one man's quest for power. And listen to me, Justice Panton. This is politics, you know. So then find something about the politics and you're going to find it and you're going to run it because of your opponent, and you're going to run it and you're going to say, yeah, and you're going to run it for as far as you can, as long as you can. But you, Justice Panton, you have a responsibility to uphold the sacred job of this integrity. You have a responsibility to make sure that there is no spectre of incorrectness. There's no spectre of malice and a witch hunting on the side, on the part of the IC. You have to ensure that when you speak to us, we believe you. Or when you speak to us, we have some questions, but we're not war with you. But no, we're at war with you, Justice Panton. Outright. You don't know about this, but me at war with you. And more, you know this, Justice Panton. You having your beer, sir? I hope you're having a beer. Mr. Wallace is my member of parliament. I've known him since he came into St. Andrew. I have never voted for him. I will never vote for him. But he's the Prime Minister of the land. And Justice Panton, you, more than anybody else, knows that when you're going to do something like this and drag the Prime Minister of the land through this kind of mud, you must have the evidence to back it up. I don't have none. Come on, Justice Panton. You're a judge. You're a judge. If you're going to drag the man through the mud this way, you must present the evidence on which you're going to drag him. George did a thing talking about Dayton Campbell. Want to do all kind of, I'm soon get to that, I'm soon get to him, that damn pedophile, I'm soon get to him. Talk about the Prime Minister should be this and the Prime Minister should be that. And I hear George saying that, you know, him did say him innocent of all the things that I say about him. I'm not innocent. Him guilty as sin. He be a drive around and car with underage picnic, having sex with underage picnic. Him guilty as sin. And everybody, everyone I know, every time when I have him in front of the camera and only in front of him, when I look at him and I say it down on mind, I can see it. Somehow I look at him with this deal, but you can't do better when I talk to him because I'm a general secretary of the PNP. I remember, and George play a wonderful clip. A wonderful clip. But George, when Mark Bolin said, same knife we stick sheep, will stick goat. This is how we call cock mouth kill cock. So Justice Panton, I don't know if the Prime Minister should address it now. I am not sure if it would change anything. I don't know. But in this instance, with the help of effective propaganda from his opponents, Justice Panton, a lack of candor on the Prime Minister's part, a failure to assure the country that this is not so, and by that he has allowed it to take off like a baby kite. And that is what has led us to where we are now. That is what has led us to where we are now. But Justice Panton, I wanted to go into some details about this issue, Justice Panton, but there are some things I want to just put to you as a big justice, as a judge. Sir, how would you feel, Justice Panton, if them investigate you and find that you did not report an account that is dormant with €200 in it, and another account which is also dormant with 300 Jamaican dollars in it, and because it's dormant, you feel you shouldn't report it, or you never know that you should report it? How would you feel if people start questioning you about that? How would you feel if them take your bank account with your mother name or your father name and put in a report after having found nothing to show that you did something wrong and start slandering your name all over the place? How would you feel, Justice Panton? And you have never written a letter to Mark Golding. But listen up. The media asked Mr. Holness on August 17, 2023, are you aware that you are being investigated? Now Mr. Holness keep asking Uno, my information tell me. Every time Uno asks him for something, him asks Uno, what is this about? Because he was under the impression that he was under investigation for lying to the commission for not producing all of the accounts then. When all along Uno investigate him for illicit enrichment, and Mark talked about it before him know. Come on, Justice Panton, if that is not witch hunt, what is? Mark knew, him never knew. He thought it was an investigation. for not reporting the account when all along investigating him for illicit enrichment. Because Mark out the assessor. And you know what happened? The next day, August 18, 2023, Justice Panton, Una sent him a letter. Because Una saw where he answered the media and said that he was not aware of him or anybody in his cabinet or in his government being under investigation for illicit enrichment. You know what that fool did the next day? Sent the Prime Minister the letter to tell him now that he's under investigation. After the media asked him and him saying no. If that is not witch hunt, what is? What is? Justice Panton. I always leave the details to Jamaica 411, you know. In his report, in his submissions, he left off his parents' account. If you never know this bond, Mr. Justice Panton, I want to ask you, if you don't bond you, if somebody go looking for some account where you have and see your children on it, and after them look at the account that your children on, and them sister not there, them feel like they need to tell the country that your children are on our account and so much amount in it. How would you feel, Justice Panton? How would you feel? You the pan glean and talk about people that threaten. Nobody not threaten you, Justice Panton. People that talk. People expressing themselves about how they feel about you guys because I want to corrupt the system and allow Mark Golding. And if you in there, Justice Panton, and Mark Golding out there saying all of those things, one man in his quest for power have corrupted your entire commission. And you never sent him a note. But that fool when him is Beresford or Stevenson, whatever, which one of them, heard the Prime Minister tell the media that he don't know about the report on August 17th, and then August 18th him send him a letter to tell him that they investigate him. If that is not corruption, if that is not witch hunt, then what is, Justice Panton? Because him left off the accounts of his parents and the one for the constituency and a few other things. And the two accounts were dormant. And create one mess. And it Justice Panton, let me reason with you. It's not about whether the Prime Minister did nothing wrong, you know, or whether he did anything bad, you know. Because we don't have no evidence. No put evidence in that report to say that he did something wrong. So, that is that. But look at it now. You allow Mark Golding, you, Justice Panton, allowed Mark Golding to be out there for close to 2 years, shouting about illicit sex. Him and him pedophile, and him witch. And you never send them a note to tell them that they are corrupting your investigations. You don't think it corrupted? Justice Panton, don't you think that, you know, this what he was doing was a corrupt move? Don't you think that, Justice Panton? But my problem is not what your report said, because it doesn't prove anything. Your report has not presented a shred of evidence. All the report is saying is that it's back. Yeah, it's back. I don't know, the rain thing and the kind of messing it up every now and then. So that is what we get when it break down. And I don't want to talk to Justice Panton, you know. Are you still hearing me? Because I'm seeing just black things now. What a night. Oh God. Are you still hearing me? Come on, Michelle, you still hearing me? And I get a message to say for you still hearing me. Talk to me, people. You still hearing me? Because this is not going good. This is not going good at all. So, here we are. This is not going good. This is not going good at all. So, I assume you're still hearing me. So Justice Panton, you and your crew, headed by you, but as I say, I'm taking you out of the mix-up because I figure you'd have nothing to do with it. But you, in there as the head, Justice Panton, and you are allowing your people to corrupt the process and provide Mark Golding with information and send him out there, go corrupt the process, and you don't think that's a witch hunt? Injustice, Pantan? You don't think that's a witch hunt of no mean order? You have a responsibility to us. And that is a part that really gets all riled up. The world is watching us. The international community is watching an integrity commission that set out to investigate parliamentarians and other people. You have not certified the statutory declarations of 82 of the 84 members of the Parliament and Senate, but you single out the Prime Minister. And then, Justice Panton, you presented a report to the Parliament, which, by definition of the law, once a Parliament gets the report, it's the end of it. But you presented a report, and some apologies for you guys out there assuming that is a preliminary report. Now, I find it hard to believe that learned men like yourself would present a report to the Parliament, which is supposed to be a preliminary report, and it doesn't say preliminary. And but then again, why would you send a preliminary report to the Parliament? Because you send the report in a hurry because you're upon this thing where all on want to go get the Prime Minister for Mark Golding. Because that is what Jamaican people are now assuming, Justice Panton. That this is a witch hunt by members of your commission joining with Mark Golding to force the Prime Minister to either resign or call an early election. The world's seen it for what it is. And that be under no illusion about it. The world's seen it for what it is. You produce a report that has no evidence in it. You have presented no evidence. You spend money and hire a man from foreign and say to him, go and look at A and B. After you give him so much money and give him a referral to go look at A and B, him went down, him not look for A and B, him go look for cats and dogs and fish, him gone in the deep ocean, him gone for high mountain, him go look for things where you never asked him to look for. Tell me if that's no witch hunt, Justice Pantan, please. That doesn't sound like witch hunt to you. You hire my said to the man, say, go see if you can find them dog for me. Him not find a dog, so I'm going to look for some cat. Him not find a cat, him gone to the air, go look for some bird. Him not find a bird, him gone to the deep sea, go look if him can find some fish. Him not find nothing, him come back and him say, alright, me not find nothing, but me know something there. Him not find nothing, but him know something there. Because that's what him write in the report. Did you read the report, Justice Panton? Because if you read this report, you'll be ashamed of those who write it. Because you're a learned man. And not even any 10th grader produce a report like this to them teacher wouldn't get even a D. The way it's full of holes and misunderstandings and lies. And you set it up, not you, Justice Panton, your crew, set it up and send it out there for Mark Golding to go take it, make political football, because he wants desperately to be Prime Minister. And it appears that there are people on your committee, Justice Panton, who want him to be Prime Minister too. Remember when the man from your place got shot? Because Justice Panton, I'm not get personal with you, you know. I'm not going to disrespect you. But you must understand that everybody on your committee have a life. And we are now at liberty to go dig up in all of them life and find out where them hide. Like the man when he get robbed. And all of them can't tell the police who robbed him. He can't give the police the information. He know what the man will rob him. Why don't go tell the police who the man is robbing? Why the man will rob him? Why don't go tell the police what is the relationship between him and the man who rob him? How what things are going in here, Justice Panton? You probably need a 2025 shirt because you may not think you can see it clearly. Justice Panton, sir. You probably need to switch out of the 1980 shirt them and get a 2025 shirt and probably things will come clearer to you. Greg Christie, when he was asked about it, you know what, you remember what him said? Ask the government. You know, see all of this tied in. Justice Panton, your beer done, get the next one. Get the next beer, sir. Go on and get it. I'll be right here when I get back. You know, see what I want? In Justice Panton? You can't go in a clean and talk up them kind of foolishness that people are threatening you. And not forget security. Who are around there? You think if nobody do want to burn it down, no amount of security could stop anybody from burning it down? What's wrong with you, Justice Panther? You're a learned man. You're there a long time. You know this thing work. Nobody wants to hurt anybody. Nobody's going to hurt anybody. People express them freedom of speech and expression and their thought. We want to share it all with you because you guys have never been held to account ever. You feel that you have some enormous amount of power that nobody can take from you. But Justice Panther, be reasonable, man. Are we pay you, boss? Yes, sir. It's we pay you every time I buy chicken and rice. Every time I buy a box of milk. Every time I buy a bottle of water. It's we pay you and them. And when you're going to produce a report, Justice Panther, it must have followed so much holes, man. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to decide, after I mess up, that we don't have no evidence against the Prime Minister, but we're going to put out this report and send it off into the world and send out the Duns Jamaicans and we don't read nothing. And have Mark Golding, Duns bloggers them, we don't read nothing, them just take talking points from the pedophile. And them go out, go say if them can gin up people to believe that the Prime Minister have done something wrong. I hope the Prime Minister sue Mark Golding. I hope he sue Mark Golding because Mark Golding would be sued after to tell us who tell him about illicit sex. And where was he getting all of that information from? Who tell him, who give him all that information? And everything that they have done, just like how Trump send them out go look for stuff against Joe Biden, and they went off and dig down in a Hunter Biden until he was charged for something. One man in his quest for power have corrupted the entire system that this Prime Minister set up to hold us all to account. Well, you can't hold me to account because I heard nothing, so you can't hold me to account for nothing. But Justice Panther, you get another beer? Great. Because I soon done now. But just a few other little things. It's all right, sir. So you do the report. Have your apologists them go out there talk about it's a preliminary report, even though you don't put preliminary on it. Then you get a big man from foreign and you give him a big money. I want to know why is who recommends Stevenson. Because maybe some corruption there is too. Maybe it's one I'm friend them who associated one I'm friend them who associated the two man in there so who associated the people on the IC commission. Maybe I saw him get him work. Why, Justice Panton, why would you leave the FID and go foreign, go hire a man and pay him money? You think people brought down here, man? Now go on to down here, take the money and go engage the services of a man, a foreign, and you have a FID here. Why didn't you, Justice Panton, ask them to run it through the FID first? Let them go look on it first, and if them mess up, then we will get a man from foreign to look about it. But you go to a man from foreign first, then you produce the report, then you send it to a parliament, and now you want to send it to FID. Come on, Justice Panther, you take a feed it or something? Come on, man. Come on, man. You drinking a beer? Come on, man. You take us to eat it or something? Don't do that, man. We're not fool. We're still a fool country. We're still a fool country that are dating can start out to stand up for country. That damn pedophile. So, Justice Panther. This alright. Nothing about this alright. And may I tell you this, from now, Prime Minister going to sue, as we already filed papers for UNO, I'm going to sue Mark, and me now might probably come down at your place with my placard. But rest assured, nobody now come fight you and beat up the body and fling the stone or nothing. We're coming with water and we're going to talk up things and go out with all kind of things. But we're not war with nobody. We're a war with mouth, our presence. How we come down there. This can't go unchecked. All of you have been operating unchecked for a long time. And now that people start checking you, when you start throw things and you are going to the cleaner. What's the matter with you? Isn't your job supposed to be something confidential and private? We are doing the cleaner. You know that shirt, Justice Panther. I mean, it's a nice shirt, 40 years ago, but it's a nice shirt. In the cleaner, I talk about things we're not supposed to talk about. I talk about people are threatening and people are do this. People free for talk, man. People free for talk. The only thing that people can say about the United States president is that they're going to kill them. Then the FBI will look for you and lock you up and question you all about that thing. You don't use the word, those words. But you can talk anything you want about the leaders of the world. Any damn thing. So you're not above it. But nobody don't want to hurt you. Neither anybody wants to hurt anybody in the commission. It's peace we're preaching. But we still are holding you accountable and not used to it. It is strange and foreign for you to be held accountable. It is strange and foreign for you to hear something. Thank God for Mark Zuckerberg and Mr. Google and all the other man them, Mr. WhatsApp and Mr. TikTok. Thank God for them because of them, we have some power. Power that we have always had. But we have never had the means to hold to account. And now we have the means. Thanks to Mr. Facebook and Mr. TikTok and Mr. and Mrs. Google. Them help we. And we will continue to do exactly that. Justice Panther. It was lovely to talk to you tonight, Justice Panther. I hope you think on these things. Because something is right about your report. And you can't send a report to Parliament. Once you send it to Parliament, the matter done, Because if you send it to FID, for example, and if FID go out there, go find something else, that's a new investigation, That it have nothing to do with this current report, But you are justice, you are the command, you are judge, you know that. I not tell you something you don't know. I just want to, say it. Say if you send it to FID, and FID go find something. Say FID, you send it to report, and if you did send the man go look for some dogs, and he never find none, or cats. But suppose FID go find cat, what will happen? It's a new investigation, it have nothing to do with this. This report done, and it is crap. It is nothing but paper crap. Don't worth the paper it is written on. For learned men sat down and do this. Justice Panther, and I urge you, my darling, before your beer done, I want to tell you this. Go and read your own report, because I don't think you have read it. A learned man like you? No. I don't think you have read it. Had you read it, you would not be in the Gleaner chatting that foolishness. Now I want to just make 2 comments before I go talk about Mark Golden and him antics in the Parliament. 2 comments. One from the person who call herself something from Jamaicans for Justice. Go sit on her ass down. Jamaicans for Justice is not a real organization. It's not more than about 4 or 5 of some big man buy out long time and have to sit down quiet in a little corner, pay for the office and pay for the local staff. Don't work quiet. Keep quiet when man are rape picnic. I never hear what we telling us that dating camp that drop on with people under age picnic in them car. I never hear them time there. I never hear Trevor Man committee, whatever they call it. I never hear no. I don't hear no when not go into the country, but as soon as something big like this come up, raising the head on the paper and on the news and on the television, I can talk about no concern. Concern about crap, but sit on our ass down. Nobody gives a rat's ass when they think about anything. Yeah, much time I hear people on social media look at things and I say, Lord of mercy, we're Jamaican for Justice Day. You're missing in action when the country need I'm not being pretty with you tonight. Come on. Farm yourself into an organization many moons ago. Kick off with a big bang. Touch on some few things. Score some touchdown. Kick some ball in the goal. And go out over things. Throw some ball in the net. And go out over things. And then bam, disappear. And slink in a little corner behind some place like people buy out to have sit on one side. Can come out when something big happen. What kind of organization is that? Want to come out when something big happen? You don't come out when something big happen. You come out when everything happen. I want to come out and talk about concerns. Concerns about what? About we talking about the IC report? Concerns about we calling the IC commissioners them corrupt? concerns about we saying that this report full of hole and it now have no evidence to condemn the Prime Minister, but to not have Mark Golding out there corrupting the process for nearly 2 years? Is that what the concern about? Nobody no want to lick down nobody, but we're going to talk and we're going to make memes out now. We're going to make memes out. The other day, Trump people then make a meme with Joe Biden and Kamala and all of them in an orange jumpsuit in a jail. We're going to make one with Uno in a jail for the behavior. All only you and Greg, no, not you, Justice Panther. My apologies, sir. Not you. Definitely not you, and definitely not Miss Pamela Monroe Ellis, who should not be on this committee. But we're going to deal with that another day. Right? So, Justice Panther, sir, thank you very much for listening to me, sir. I hope you enjoy your beer. But go read the report. Now, today, I saw where Mark Golding went into the parliament to go move a motion against the Prime Minister. Him and him 12 MP them. Now, can somebody please help me out here, sir? How are you going to move a no confidence motion with 12 people? Him plus 12 plus him, that's 13. Come in, Lisa, and that way, sit down that foolishness with Uno. You look like a damn clown, Mark Golding. You go try to mash up Andrea more funeral with your foolishness, and then now you go in the parliament about your move motion, and then put you out, and you're outside and read the motion. Did you see that green thing behind him? What is it again? An awning, that green awning behind him. It looks pretty good. Behind him, reading the motion. You know, I watched a movie once where Billy Crudup said to Al Pacino, there was this guy in the movie, I can't remember the name of the movie, that it was a gangster movie. And like the guy in the room, I quarreled with Al Pacino, like, and calling him and ass his ass and calling him all kind of name. And then Al Pacino threw him out for him ass. And him out there, I talk about a whole heap of things against Al. And Billy Crudup said to Al, did you hear what he just called him? And Al said, yeah. But you know where he said it? Outside. So that's you, Mark Golding. Every time you get up and make an ass of yourself, and you go into the parliament, and you decided that you're going to do this thing, and then shut you down, and you go out the door, and you have your little crew around you, everybody beginning to look like you, you know, deceitful and lie. Even people who weren't deceitful and lie begin to look that way, gather around you for one reason and one reason only. They are seeking power. And you are the man that will give them power. And the Jamaican people is actually going to be stupid people and actually vote for Uno. And that is where Uno delusion hell. Michelle, that building down by Bellevue, that delusional wing, them don't build it yet, because Mark Golding need to check in with that. And then Dayton pedophile Campbell out there talk about Prime Minister this and Prime Minister that. And my good Georgie, went out there and threw some things upon him. But I think he can't answer George. Because I went back for the interview that George did with him on Scene TV. And just to be sure that I read it right. And George sat there interviewing him. George interviewed me too about the thing. And George was there asking the question and was there denying. And you can see George's face that George never believed him. Nobody ever believed you, you damn fool. Nobody believes you. Which is why you're working so hard to keep those young ladies from coming forward to come testify against you. That's why you're working so hard to keep them out. That's why you and your corrupt lawyers work with the little idiot judge them to throw out the statements, because you don't want them to come pint you out and look upon you and tell the judge, say, yes, this man had sex with me and I was 13 years old at the time, and he promised me this and he carried me go, yes sir. But you have the gall. If you come out and talk about Prime Minister if resign, and on the feel, I want to know that on cannot wait for an election. Type on wait, it might be too late for you. So on join hands with some of Justice Panther and people them to discredit the Prime Minister without a shred of evidence. I just had a conversation with Justice Panther. How I believe when I tell us a justice pant and listen to this crap. And we're not going to get what is it that we're seeking to get. I am sorry that this thing went with the video, so you couldn't get to see my lovely face. I'm gonna get all dolled up for all. I'm put up a curtain for me. Crap, man. I'm gonna take the whole curtain of the house. I'm gonna put up a curtain just to do the live. And well, what can I say? The system, the internet. There are 3 different internet systems in this house, and from time to time they all go to crap. You take it in stride. So I apologize for that. I thank you all so very much for joining me and for joining so late. If there's anything else to say, I'm going to chance it again and do another live. But until then, I bid all of you good night. Stay safe, everybody, and do keep the children safe. Thank you.